Welcome to Global Byte. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. The world is watching as two of Asia's economic giants, Japan and China, lock horns in a high-stakes economic showdown. This isn't a simmering dispute. It's a full-blown confrontation, shaking boardrooms, factory floors, and shipping ports. In one corner, Japan, a technological powerhouse, making a bold, risky move. In the other, China, the world's factory, responding with calculated force. The stakes? Nothing less than the stability of the global economy. In early January 2026, Japan blacklisted 110 Chinese companies, sending shockwaves across Asia. China's response was swift, tightening export controls and threatening to squeeze supplies of materials essential for modern life. This is more than a trade spat. It's a clash of national interests and historical grievances. The decisions made in Tokyo and Beijing will ripple worldwide, affecting everything from your smartphone to your car. Shipments are delayed, revenues are falling, and business plans are in chaos. The global supply chain is a delicate web, and Japan and China are two of its most critical hubs. Their partnership, once a pillar of global commerce, is now under unprecedented strain. The world holds its breath, hoping diplomacy can prevail before the economic damage becomes irreversible. The question, how far will this go? As of January 27, 2026, the answer remains dangerously unclear. To understand today's crisis, you need to know the history. Japan and China's relationship is a saga of cooperation shadowed by deep, unresolved grievances, especially from World War II. These old wounds fuel mistrust, making new conflicts harder to resolve. Territorial disputes in the East China Sea, over the Senkaku Diaoyu Islands, keep tensions high, with both sides unwilling to back down. Economically, the two nations are deeply intertwined. Japan's technology fueled China's rise, while China became Japan's largest trading partner. For years, it was hot economics, cold politics. But now, even business ties are fraying. As China's power grows, competition replaces complementarity. Security concerns have pushed tensions to a boiling point, especially over Taiwan. Japan sees Taiwan's security as vital to its own, and fears of Chinese aggression have set the stage for today's economic escalation. The old model is breaking down. The cold politics are finally freezing the hot economics. Every conflict has a trigger. For this crisis, it was a statement by Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi in November 2025. She warned that Japan might intervene if China attacked Taiwan, an existential threat, not a distant problem. Beijing's reaction was immediate and furious, calling the remarks provocative and a dangerous shift from Japan's pacifist stance. Chinese state media launched a campaign of condemnation, targeting Japan's government. Tensions escalated from words to action. China staged large-scale military exercises near Taiwan, sending a clear message of military readiness. The region's security temperature soared. Trust between the two nations eroded rapidly. In this climate, Japan made its next move, blacklisting Chinese companies. The decision was made amid military drills, angry rhetoric, and a breakdown in diplomatic communication. The spark from November had ignited a fire threatening to consume their economic relationship. The war of words had become a war of commerce. The world watched as the stakes rose higher. In January 2026, Japan escalated the conflict by blacklisting 110 Chinese companies. This was no subtle gesture. It cut these firms off from Japanese technology, investment, and markets. Tokyo justified the move on national security grounds, targeting companies linked to China's military ambitions. The blacklist focused on strategic sectors, advanced tech, telecom, aerospace. Japan aimed to slow China's progress in areas seen as threats. It's a high-risk strategy, hurting both Chinese firms and Japanese businesses reliant on China. The impact was immediate. Chinese companies lost access to critical Japanese components, halting production and R&D. The message to all Chinese businesses: doing business with Japan now carries new risks. Within Japan, the move divided opinion. Some support a tough stance, others fear for their commercial survival. Prime Minister Takechi's government is betting security outweighs short-term economic pain. The region waits to see the consequences. The line has been drawn. China's counterpunch was swift and strategic. Instead of a direct blacklist, Beijing tightened export controls on dual-use items, goods with both civilian and military uses. China's ambassador called the measures legitimate and necessary for national security. The list targeted high-tech materials and equipment where China dominates, inflicting pain on Japan's advanced manufacturing sector. Delays at Chinese ports began even before the blacklist, with Japanese shipments held up for weeks. The slowdown hit everything from tech components to sake and seafood. Officially, these were security screenings. In reality, a non-tariff barrier punishing Japan. For Japanese businesses, the delays were disastrous, disrupting production and creating uncertainty. China's move wasn't a knockout, but a series of painful blows. Economic warfare had entered a new phase. The message: interdependence cuts both ways. Rare earth elements are Japan's Achilles heel. These 17 metals are essential for everything from smartphones to missile systems. China dominates global supply and processing. Japan imports up to 70% of its rare earths from China. This creates a massive choke point. If China cuts exports, Japan's high-tech industries could grind to a halt. The threat isn't hypothetical. China used this lever in 2010, and now the risk looms again. Even the suggestion of a cutoff has caused panic in Tokyo. Japan's industry scrambles for alternatives, but new sources take years to develop. Business leaders call a rare earth cutoff life or death for their companies. Without these materials, production lines would stop. China knows this is its ultimate trump card. Will Beijing play it? The consequences could be catastrophic for Japan and the world. The world watches, anxious. The human cost of this conflict is real and immediate. In Japan, the tourism industry is reeling as China warns its citizens against visiting. Once busy shops and hotels are empty, with lost revenue and growing anxiety. China promotes South Korea as a travel destination, punishing Japan further. Japanese exporters face customs delays, spoiled shipments, and uncertain futures. The pain spreads across industries, from agriculture to manufacturing. On the Chinese side, Japanese companies may scale back or withdraw, costing Chinese workers their jobs. A recent poll shows 43% of Japanese firms may review their China business if tensions persist. The consequences trickle down, disrupting lives and livelihoods. This is not just a political game, it's economic hardship for ordinary people. The cost is measured in lost jobs, empty shops, and anxious families. Experts are sounding the alarm. Economists point to a Reuters poll. Over 2/3 of Japanese firms expect economic harm, with 44% already feeling the impact. Security analysts see Japan's blacklist as a strategic alignment with the US, aiming to contain China's military-industrial rise. Prime Minister Takaichi's comments on Taiwan were the political prelude. The blacklist is the economic follow-through. Business consultants urge companies to diversify supply chains. This crisis is a wake-up call. Many firms are now eyeing Vietnam, India, and Mexico as alternatives. Political scientists warn of rising nationalism on both sides, with rhetoric risking a dangerous spiral. In Japan, a tough stance is popular, but could lock leaders into confrontation. The biggest danger: neither side wants to look weak, making compromise difficult. This is how manageable disputes spiral out of control. Diplomacy must create an off-ramp, but right now, none is in sight. The world needs a way out before the damage becomes permanent. The stakes could not be higher. This is a pivotal moment for Asia and the world. The Japan-China showdown is a stress test for globalization itself. The blacklists, export controls, and rare earth threats have pushed their relationship to the brink. The impacts are real: delayed shipments, empty hotels, anxious workers, and frantic boardrooms. The crisis exposes the fragility of our interconnected economy. The path forward is precarious. Further escalation could disrupt global supply chains and raise prices everywhere. Stable relations between these giants are vital for global prosperity. De-escalation and renewed dialogue are urgent diplomatic priorities. The story isn't over. The next moves in Tokyo and Beijing will shape the future. In a world disconnected, peace and stability require constant effort and a willingness to find common ground.